Hello, Cindy here. I am so excited to be here with you guys today talking about a really hot topic around attracting emotionally unavailable men or even emotionally unavailable people into your life. And this is for the ladies. I talk to women all the time that are frustrated because they feel like a lot of men aren't commitment minded. So my name's Cindy Olin. I'm a love and relationship expert. I've been doing this for a little while now. I have a background in high-end matchmaking, and I used to co-facilitate Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus workshops. So I have studied in this field for a really long time, and there's a common theme around unavailability. And the other thing I will share with you really quick is unavailability is on the rise due to, our society and the way that technology is. It lends itself to actually being disconnected, being more inward, and not truly learning how to express one's emotions. Now, you may or may not have grown up with with technology or a lot of technology, or you may have been on the cusp as it was developing more and more smartphones and everything. So I want to share with you, a little bit deeper around the top 3 reasons why you're attracting emotionally unavailable men. And I'm going to give you a couple of tips on what to do about it. Sound good? Hi. And I would love to hear from you if you feel like you've been in a relationship where that other party was emotionally unavailable. It was frustrating. Perhaps you experienced something where your partner, the person that you were with was, disconnected, critical, didn't, maybe they cheated, they emotionally shut down. You felt like you were walking around on eggshells. You didn't actually feel fully safe to self-express. So let me know if you've been in a situation where maybe it started off great, but then you moved into a place where it felt uncomfortable. Now, all relationships can feel uncomfortable from time to time, but when there becomes this theme of, even some emotional abuse, criticism, there's a disconnect, there's a, emotional disconnection, totally. Happy Friday, you guys. So I'd love to hear from you if you've been in that space. And I want to talk to you about, what 3 reasons why you're attracting emotionally unavailable people, why you're in those kind of relationships, and I'm going to give you a tool on how to shift it. Next week, we're going to go deeper into opening your heart up to receive lasting love. And I would love to hear from you guys. If you have questions, if you have something on your heart that you would like for me to teach you about, I would love to support you. I'd love to get to know you and help you to open up in this area. I talk to my clients all the time around, the unavailability piece, and I definitely don't necessarily always say what they want me to hear, but the common denominator is you, right? So if you have a pattern where you're attracting unavailable people, and I've been there myself, it's it comes down to you as well. So the other side to that is it's not entirely your fault. And I'll share about that in a second. So the number one reason why you're attracting emotionally unavailable people in your life or emotionally unavailable partners is there's something within you that gets to be healed. So there's something within you that gets to be healed. And you might be thinking, okay, Cindy, expand upon that. So what that can look like is it could be from your childhood. Maybe, our parents, I believe most parents do the best that they can to support their children and, giving them their emotional, mental, physical needs as much as possible. Also, our parents are, have had their own experiences and are living through that on to you. If that makes sense. I hope it does. Anyway, so more about that. You might have grown up with, parents where you were walking on eggshells, where they were elusive somehow. You couldn't quite connect with them. Or maybe you constantly felt like you had to prove yourself. You had to prove yourself worthy. And to prove yourself that, that you could, or maybe you were the scapegoat. I mean, who knows? You played a role in your family. And a lot of times when there's unavailability, there's some wounding there. So maybe you were hurt. There was a trauma point in your childhood or in your early adult life that made you maybe emotionally shut down and having the inability to trust, which leads me into number 2. So that is, there's a representation of something that feels familiar. Oftentimes when I talk to women, I'm really good at unhooking them from their past patterning. And they can see it. However, it's really hard when you're emotionally triggered, especially when you might have an anxious attachment style. And I can go into attachment styles on a different live, but for our purposes here, if you're a little bit anxious or when a man pulls away or you're not sure what to expect from him, you might go into a panic mode. So that will, a lot of anxious people will attract avoidant individuals, which aren't really emotionally available to begin with. And, I wrote a couple things down that I thought were really key. A lot of times we're attracted to someone that fulfills something. There's when emotional unavailability happens, one or both people can't fully commit. And if you're talking about him, there might have been this thing that attracted him to you in the first place, this really amazing light within you. And that light is what sees him completely. It's like he's been exposed. And unavailable people that are trying to hide, they have shame, or they're just not willing to open up. That is the very thing that will shut them down from fully going all in and committing to you. So understand that. I think a lot of times women will think, well, if I could do this or if I did that, it wouldn't be the case. And he may make an excuse that is something totally not related to make you feel like you're you're not enough somehow, some way. So what I want you to understand that oftentimes this happens because it doesn't really have anything to do with you, yet you can do the work to shift this trajectory and set boundaries around this from the beginning so that you're not getting disempowered in this place. So here's the next one. You're not gonna like this, but I gotta share it with you. So the next one is you're emotionally unavailable yourself. So that feeds into the first one, the wounding. So the emotional unavailability for you could be that you decide to distract yourself in your life with other things, therefore not being available. So I feel like the way we do one thing is the way we do all things. So do you avoid confrontation? Are you, are you selectively available when when it feels good to you? So those types of things, what do you avoid? Those types of things are a mirror. Oftentimes the person that we're attracted to is actually a mirror of us. So you might be a workaholic. You actually might be unavailable from the place that you're self-absorbed with toxic thoughts and, stories in your brain that it's not going to work, that you actually manifest that. And, so you're focused in on that. Or the other side of it is you're not allowing yourself to unhook from your past. You can't allow yourself to get over it. Maybe there was, something that you felt bad about, and there's a level of self-deprecation happening. I feel like when we allow ourselves to continually do the same thing over and over again and hope for different results, or worse yet, because I see this a lot with women, is they'll cut themselves off from dating, and they don't fully open their hearts, or they make a decision like committing to going to the gym in January and being your healthiest mind, body, spirit, and you're committing to love. If you're committing to that and you want to do something different, wouldn't you think that you would do whatever it takes to do that? Wouldn't you think that you would not necessarily talk to the committee out there, but actually get support from a coach, from somebody that knows about this and that can help you to shift from your excuses? Because the excuses is the emotional unavailability. Because if you keep creating this, it's really, really hard to get out of your own way. So you're emotionally unavailable too if you continually attract that. Now, I say that from the sense of it's hard to see our own emotional unavailability, because you could say, gosh, Cindy, I really want love so bad. Well, you get to do the work to shift in this space to actually create a fully connected relationship. It's about being present in the moment, present with yourself, present with other people around you, and opening up to the rich possibilities out there, because there's a lot of emotionally available people that want what you want. And oftentimes, if you've been used to a pattern where you've got to work really hard in a relationship, or you feel like, this person's elusive, and maybe they act like they're in a relationship with you, but at the end of the day, they tell you you're not, or there's just all kinds of unavailability or your friend with benefits, and that's not what you really want, but you keep showing up thinking that he'll change his mind. And I guarantee you he won't, because there are some people, now this isn't true for everyone, but I will tell you, if someone is truly emotionally unavailable, they do not have the capacity to show up for you or for anyone else on a fully available standpoint. And, you know, for somebody like me, right, I'm a pretty in-depth person, and I choose to be available. I choose to be present. I choose to be connected. And there are different layers of availability. And, you know, the partner for me in my life is someone that's willing to go there and go deep and go to the places that you're afraid, right? And this doesn't mean every single day, but it's you know, somebody, you know, when you look at it, what are you looking for? Somebody that has the ability to take a look at themselves, which isn't always easy. And men do that, by the way, ladies. It looks differently than the way that we do it. So it's not good or bad. So you might be guarded too. So that emotional unavailability yourself, you might be guarded. You're putting other things in front of you. So it's like you've got this protective barrier around you that is not allowing you to be vulnerable or fully open up to receiving partnership. So they're mirroring you, you're mirroring them. The next one is, so this is a big one. You don't actually communicate with empathy and compassion yourself. You might be going, what? I'm a giver. I'm super friendly. You know, communication is a key way to create connection. And a lot of times what we do when we, you know, naturally communicate, especially as women, we might say something like, well, you did this. Well, I feel, you know, I feel like you don't call me enough. A lot of women, we communicate in feelings. Like, I feel like this. I feel like you don't. I feel like you don't. I'm going to repeat that again. You don't. You. So what happens is there's a projection happening. Now, you might be a nice, loving person that is truly compassionate and hasn't fully communicated your thoughts and feelings in a compassionate, empathetic manner, or allowed yourself to think about putting yourself into someone else's shoes so that you can connect. So a good way to do that is saying, Saved by the Bell. Sorry, you guys, hold on a second. I'm going to be right back. I'm really sorry I have to do this. My son just got home from school, but I really want to finish this with you guys. Sorry. Okay. So hold on. See? Come on in, baby. Okay, mommy's on Facebook Live.
Mommy, can you some chicken?
Yep. Hold on. Okay, sorry you guys, I'm back. So by not communicating with empathy and compassion, and the other thing is too, is we don't always think before we speak. So if you take a little bit of time to process what you're feeling, you know, maybe you feel like he doesn't reach out to you enough, or you don't really know the nature of where the relationship is going. So what you get to do is take your power back and look at, is this person capable and emotionally available? And if I share my feelings, gosh, you know, I feel, I feel sad when I don't hear from you every day. I feel happy when I do get to hear from you or see you, and also, so when it comes to that piece, we can also go to the other side of being too nice, and also being a fixer. So this might be 4, but I wanted to make sure that I covered these because these are really big ones. So if you're too nice, you pacify everything, you make excuses for him, he's really busy, but what about you? And what about your feelings? And you're not able to actually articulate, or you stuff how you really feel in order to...
Mommy, I'll go poopy.
Okay. In order to in order to pacify the relationship and keep it, so you're in a space where you're afraid to share, so that keeps it unavailable, that keeps it on a disconnected level. And the biggest thing you get to do is not be afraid to lose them. And once you get to that space, so if you're a fixer, maybe you see someone that is amazing, they're a diamond in the rough and they have great potential, but they're not really showing up for you. And if you're constantly trying to fix their life or show up for them, then you're actually not in the feminine. You're not able to receive anything. And there's a total, complete disconnect in the relationship. So I'm going to continue more around the unavailability. One is starting with a decision around, I really want a deeply connected partnership. And then opening up to the uncomfortable and thinking about, what am I afraid to share with someone? What am I afraid if they knew about this, they might walk away? What am I afraid of? And those are parts where you get to dig into and allow yourself to be vulnerable, allow yourself to ask for help, and go to a deeper level.
I'll go poopy.
Poopy? Okay, gotta go. We gotta poopy. So anyway, I will talk to you guys later next week. Let me know if you have questions, comments around this. This goes into so many other layers and levels of supporting you around communication, your attachment styles, and how to understand them and even shift that. So sending you guys so much love. Happy Friday. Okay, bye.